In this lesson, we're going to be talking about purposes of the network layer. I've got a Wireshark capture here, and you should be pretty familiar with looking at Wireshark captures by this point. And I flagged one of the packets here in the top. You can see I've got one selected. Now in the bottom window, you can see all of the different headers or portions of that particular packet. So I'm going to open up the network layer portion, and we're just going to talk quickly about the purposes of the network layer, and we'll look in more detail at the different portions of this header in a subsequent lesson. But right now, I just want to talk about the different purposes for the network layer. So you can see here that we've got a source and a destination address. One of the things that the network layer does is it forwards packets from one network to another. So in this case, I've actually got two IP addresses that are on the same network, so we wouldn't actually have to cross a network boundary to get the messages to one another. So these messages are actually going to be transmitted strictly across layer 2. Now, if I had IP addresses that were on separate networks, for example, 10.118.10.1 as my source, and let's say my destination is 4.2.2.1, my destination address would be on a separate network. So the network layer is responsible for forwarding those packets from one network to another network. And as a result, we have to know things like what the default gateway is or the gateway for particular routers that have particular subnets. So all of the routing is done at the network layer as well. Routing and forwarding packets done at the network layer. Of course, addressing is at the network layer. You see we've got IP addresses here. So that's done at the network layer. So I've got my source and my destination addresses here. These are logical addresses as compared to the physical addresses that we've got here in the Ethernet header, which would be the layer 2 header. So right here, I've got a source and a destination address, and that's my MAC address. So that's a physical address, meaning it's actually bound to the physical network device. So I've got physical addresses here. So why not just use the MAC addresses then to get messages from one device to another? Well, the reason for that, even though MAC addresses are globally unique, meaning no two network interface cards could ever have the same MAC address, MAC addresses are all going to look completely different depending on who the vendor is, and so we have no way to actually aggregate those addresses. So when we put a network together, I really want to have addresses that have something in common. So for example, right here I've got 10.118.10.1 and then 10.118.10.2. And you can see the first three segments of the address there are the same between the source and the destination. That means they're on the same network. And as a result, I can get messages to them pretty quickly because I can figure out through routing tables how to actually get messages to a device that's close to them. If I were to use MAC addresses, you can see these here are pretty different. So I've got 00:13 and 00:1b. I don't really have a good way of getting messages to these two devices, even though they're on the same network. I don't have a good way of getting messages from the other side of the world, for example, to these two different devices, because you'd have to have a table that included all of these MAC addresses here. That would pretty quickly get unwieldy. As a result, we have these logical addresses that are bound to the physical addresses, and these logical addresses here in the IP header provide us an ability to aggregate them so that we can more easily collect devices together into networks. And then we can have routing tables that can be aggregated, and we can more efficiently get messages from one side of the globe to another side of the globe without having to worry about enormous tables to look up information in and figure out how to get messages from one side to the other. So we have logical addressing done here at the network layer as well. So we have the logical location, which is the first part, the 10.118.10 in this case. And then, of course, we have the host identification. So the .1 or the .2 would be the host identification in this part. So the network layer is responsible, as I said, for forwarding packets. We also have addressing. It does logical location and, of course, routing, because that's where the address lives. Routing is done at the network layer as well. So that's the purpose of the network layer.